1969, what a year of change. People have written books about 1969 and what took place. There was demonstrations, protests, and even Palisades Amusement Park had a new kind of mellow commercial song.
Palisades Amusement Park is great, it's groovy, come on over. Brand new rides, the monorail and the Jetstar, come on over. Parking and dancing's free, you'll have a bargain time. Tuesdays and Thursdays rides, a nickel and a dime. Your favorite record stars, you'll see them all for free. Come ride the bumper cars, come, you just gotta see. Palisades Amusement Park, the lights so pretty. Magic City, roller coaster, cotton candy, carousel, fantastic dandy at Palisades Amusement Park.
1969 was a big change for me as well. I had just completed my first and only year of teaching in New Jersey, about to be drafted into the U.S. Army, and that would take place at the end of July. While I was teaching, I also worked at WLVP in Franklin, New Jersey, an FM station where I got my start of finding out what engineering was all about and how radio stations worked. Didn't have a lot of listeners because FM had not come of age at that point. After the school had closed, the owner of the station asked me if I could handle the night program for him for a while. And I said, yeah, I could do it. It was called Songs in the Night. And as it said on our control board, we were playing hymns, gospel songs, and sacred music from 9 to midnight. Callers would call in for requests. These are mostly older people. They'd call in every night and often call for the same song, and I'd just play it. And after 11 o'clock, things started to wind down. I'd do the 11 o'clock UPI news, and then there would be a devotional, some prayer, and some Bible reading, and sign off at midnight. And after that, I would close the radio station down and start on the 25-mile drive back to Wayne on Route 23. And after you got out of Franklin and up the hill to Beaver Lake, it got real quiet on Route 23. There wasn't a whole lot going on between there and Butler. So I'm driving home and I'm listening to the radio because one of my interests was to possibly get into broadcasting, and I wanted to make sure I could sound professional. I had to get rid of the New Jersey accent, to get rid of dropping G's and R's and slurring words together and putting R's where they don't belong. A lot of people in New Jersey will go out and buy a pizza. And so I'm driving home listening to WABC and Charlie Greer, who was quite a character for the overnight show, especially doing his famous Dennison's commercials. Clothier out on Route 22. Now, one of those summer nights, I was approaching home, and up comes this song that I had heard before, and it was always a nice song to listen to. But that night, nice and quiet in the car, I started listening to the lyrics, and I thought there's a whole lot more to this song than what most people are aware of. And I wasn't sure, but I really did like the song, and it took a few years to find out what it was all about. On that night, I had a sense of peace about listening to that song on my way home.
What do you see? The sun is rising, most definitely. A new day is coming. Ooh, people are changing. Ain't it beautiful? Ooh, crystal blue persuasion. See the light. Love is the answer. Ooh, and that's alright. So don't you give up now. Ooh, so easy to find. look to your soul. Look to your soul and open your mind. Crystal blue persuasion. It's a new vibration. Crystal blue persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion. Maybe tomorrow, when he looks down on every green field, in every town, all of his children, in every nation, there'll be peace and good brotherhood. Crystal blue persuasion. Yeah. Crystal blue persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion.
Tommy James and the Shondells with Crystal Blue Persuasion from 1969. It was written by Eddie Gray, Tommy James, and Mike Vale. This song came out of a conversion in Tommy James' life to become a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ. The song was inspired by the book of Ezekiel, describing the blue Shekinah light representing the presence of Almighty God. It also had words from Isaiah and Revelation of a future age, a time when there never would be any more conflict, just peace forever in the New Jerusalem. No, it had nothing to do with drugs or anything associated with them. It had to do with a new life in Jesus Christ. And that song stayed with me the rest of my life. I really thought it was one of the first contemporary Christian songs that were probably ever recorded. A year later, I was listening to it in Vietnam. 1969, a year of change for me. I'm Ed Montgomery.